name is Sandra Samuels, host of Boss Lady Live, where I come to you every Monday night with experts to discuss issues of crime and violence, love and relationships, health and wellness, various different topics that affect us right here in Jamaica. Please like and share and subscribe. Click on the notification bell to be advised when you're on. See you then.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome again to Boss Lady Live. It is my pleasure to be here again, once again, with it's an awesome discussion, usually. Very engaging, very entertaining, very interesting, and we learn a lot every Monday evening on Boss Lady Live. Now tonight, well, first of all, please remember to like and share with your friends, invite them to come and join the discussion. Tonight, we're talking about the importance, the impact of the music industry on the minds of our people, especially our young people. In this day and age where crime and violence is very high and abuse of women is very high, what is the responsibility of the music industry? As music is one of those languages that is universal, and it is also music also, apart from being entertaining, music, I don't want to say converts, but people are drawn to music. If you want to teach something, people put it to music. So music is very influential. So tonight we have two of Jamaica's stalwarts, right? We don't own them because they are international in their own rights, but born and grow here, and we own them. We claim them. We have Mickie Bennett, music producer, etal, and Dr. Dennis Howard. Let me introduce Dr. Dennis Howard first. Dr. Dennis Howard is an author, lecturer, media executive, and creative industries consultant. As a media specialist, his career spans the gamut as a radio personality, program manager, and general manager. Howard was the founding programming manager of IRI FM. He can be credited for devising the format that has led to IRI FM being one of Jamaica's most successful radio stations. Howard was also an afternoon presenter at IRI FM. His show, The Rhythm Magic, rose to the #1 spot just months after its inception. In 1990, the Jamaica Federation of Musicians and Affiliates, JFM, bestowed on him the prestigious honor award for contribution to radio. Between 2016 and 2019, Dr. Howard served as General Manager, Radio Services for the RJR Gleaner Communications Group. With 5 radio stations under his portfolio, he successfully restructured the division. He rebranded all 5 stations, which led to increases in listenership and a revitalization of the 5 brands through the expansion of their digital footprint. And he, has a whole plethora of things below his name. But I'll let him speak about himself a little bit after I do the intro of Mickie Bennett. Mickie Bennett also is one of our stalwarts, and Mickie Bennett, dubbed the Quincy Jones of Reggae, began his career in the early 80s as a member of the group Home T4 in 1986 under his direction. The reformed group, now named Home T, had its most successful period with hits like Don't Throw It All Away, Who She Love, Pirates Anthem, and Spreading Rumors, all massive reggae hits internationally. This period saw him working with two of the leading producers at both King Jammy's and Music Works Studios as a vocal arranger and staff writer. Songs like Telephone Love, Rumors, Champion Lover, and numerous other hits for Dennis Brown, Gregory Isaacs, Cocoa Tea, and Sugar Minott brought him greater recognition. The demand for his services grew in 1989. Along with friend Patrick Lindsay, formed Two Friends Limited, a recording and management company. Two Friends allowed Mickie total creative freedom and a chance to showcase some young artists that had been under his wings. These include Brian Anthony Gold and Chevelle Franklin. The sound was sought after both locally and internationally, and soon the major labels came calling, wanting their various artists to try the sound and what they saw as the perfect marriage between R&B and reggae. Billboard hits like House Call with Maxi Priest and Shabba and Mr. Loverman served to improve his status in the music industry. And it can go on and on and on. As I said, these two gentlemen have been at the forefront of our music industry. As Dennis doesn't look like he's ready yet for me, let me go. You ready, Mike? You ready, Dennis? Dennis, you ready for me?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, all right. So, good night, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me on Boss Lady Live. I know you are very busy, gentlemen, and I really appreciate this conversation because, you know, there are many serious conversations that we need to be having in Jamaica at this time. And I know music is a major part of it. So I wanted to have a discussion with you tonight, Dennis, as what is your role in the music? Where do you see the music going? And I don't want to get into the meat of the matter just yet, but what is your feeling as to where our music is at this time and the influence that the music has on young people at this time?
Well, the music, you asked what is my role in the music right
now? What is your role in the music,
well,
right?
I'm a producer, and I'm not been a very active producer in recent times, but I still do some production, and I still do a lot of work with the music industry, more in the management and consultancy section of it. And we're trying to, through my company, the ICPI, which is the Institute of Cultural Policy and Innovation, we're trying to create a new breed of creatives that understand the business aspect of the music and are more professional. So we try to help people to get startups, create startups, help them to be organized in terms of the business aspect, understand the business itself, because a lot of people go into the music and they are creatives. They don't understand anything about the music industry. That's why I hear all of the different complaints and drama that we know Jamaican music is associated with. So we try to train a new set of people that understand the business side, so that they will benefit in a more fulsome way.
So your role right now is predominantly training.
Yeah. Not training. I'm basically business development. You know, so I was still the consultancy in terms of helping people with management and the various aspects of the music industry. Now, to answer your second part of your question, where I believe the music is almost static. That's all I can say. You know, they created with it.
And when you say static, don't just leave it there, Dennis. When you say static, because people, persons looking on, we say, but you know, reggae is all over the world, dancehall is all over the world. You know, everybody and them cousin doing dancehall. You know, Japan is big in Japan. So
Yeah.
when you say
Yeah, but
static, static, what do you mean?
those are exaggerations. Dancehall is not big in Japan because if you talk about you know what is big in Japan? K-pop and J-pop. That's because
What
they
is,
are different skills. So
yes.
Jamaican music and dancehall is influential in certain parts of these countries, but it's never mainstream. I hear this ridiculous argument that France is the capital of reggae now, but in France, reggae is not mainstream. Are you talking about people, hundreds of millions of people? Japan is the same thing. And so for us to have these usual statements, hyperbolic statements about how reggae is big and this and that, what are the numbers? We still can't sell. The reggae chart, the Billboard chart, you sell 7 units and you enter the chart. Nobody is selling no big numbers. And so that's why I say we are static. Our main revenue stream comes from touring. With COVID-19 for the past 2 years, 1.5 years, that kind of dead. And so a lot of what you are seeing is the show. Streaming, which is the other revenue stream in terms of the music industry. You have one is a recording stream, the other one is the copyright, and the other one is live. And then you have related streams in terms of endorsement, getting into movies and all of these type of things. But the regular streams are drying up. There's a major problem with the streaming companies that they pay very little money. Because we have not had a major hit in the world in terms of copyright returns. That's very limited also. And basically we're looking at the numbers game. This whole heap of hype and what have you. And the very few people who can say that they are successful. Again, it's a numbers game. We have 10 people who say them successful. That's not a whole heap of people. When you compare the amount of people who are in the business and trying, and who some have been there 20 years and don't make a dollar, and some 30 years and still are journeymen and still struggling to make ends meet. That is not a good situation for us, because even if you're not a star, you should be able, if things are right, to earn a good living so that you can take your kids them to school. You don't have to be a star, you know. You can take your skill, you can put your kids in good school. You have some savings, you do some investment, you can buy a house. And I'm not saying that people who are not stars don't get to do that, but there is a very limited amount of people, and the potential for more young people coming into the business to do that is getting slimmer and slimmer and slimmer.
But Dennis, people would argue with you and say, whole heap of big house up at Chancery Hall, whole heap of BMW, whole heap of Porsche, Benz, bling bling.
We don't have 5,000 people doing that. You don't have 5,000 people doing that, you know. You don't even have 1,000.
So you're saying we're just focusing on the few.
Absolutely, it's like people.
Apart from the Sean Pauls and the Shaggies,
yeah,
and Shensia that is hot now, and a few others.
It's like the NBA. You know,
we're breaking into the market.
It's like the NBA. A college student, from high school and college, the percentage of people who enter the NBA is like 0.0005 of the population of basketballers. You can't say because you have some winners in a music industry that by conservative estimates might be about 50,000 people involved in it, or 100,000 people involved in it. And that is very conservative. And probably 0.2% or 1% or 5% of them can show success. and the rest is suffering and not getting anywhere, and then use that as an indicator that the industry is doing well. It don't make any sense.
But when you watch shows like ER and stuff, I mean, when I hear the interviews, they're claiming success. So
But-
is it that they have a very limited idea of what success is?
No, but you know, so you have to fake it before you make it, you know. And a lot of these people who you see
Yeah, but what is the standard of
driving the cars, it's
success?
not for them car.
Yeah, but what is our standard of success? Are we looking at numbers? Are we looking at funds? Are we looking at the
Yeah.
fact that before we were living nowhere,
That's it. That's
right?
the
And we were
problem.
living in a board house.
You touch the problem.
And now we are able to live in a concrete house.
Yeah,
So that, to me,
yeah,
is success. So from
Yeah.
that standpoint, I'm no longer hungry.
yeah.
I can buy brand name clothes and shoes. And so for all intents and purposes, I'm successful.
Absolutely. That is the problem. And a lot of people, when they start to earn money, they believe that the money is going to be constantly flowing, and that don't work with most entities, and especially with the music industry. There's a period where you're hot, and there's a period that you're not going to be hot. And you might have few iterations where you get hot again, but there are very few people who that happens to. And so some other people, and not all of them now, because a lot of middle class people in the industry right now, significant amount of the people, them not broke. They have resources, but the majority, no, well, I shouldn't say significant, a portion of them, but the majority of the people coming from poor condition, them
Right.
they don't understand that having a luxury car or renting an apartment, because a lot of them don't own them house, is not a sign of real wealth and wealth generation. And you can't blame them. So what they do when they see that they're making money now, and they see that they're making money constantly, they develop consumerist attitude of spending. Them go to them only for brethren, them buy liquor, the girl thing, and the fancy clothes and the fancy cars, and not really looking at the business. And then they look at people like Mickie Bennett later down, who they do a one song with, and say Mickie Bennett rob him.
Right.
And then it's how to rob him, because the ironic part about it, that a lot of their revenue stream, producers have nothing to do with it. We don't have nothing to do with dub plate money. If you're a songwriter, we don't have nothing to do with your publishing and the royalties from your songwriting. And not all producers are your managers, but
Right.
every producer is a robber and a thief. You understand? And you are saying that these producers are robbers and thieves, and you don't even know they understand the business. You don't understand the amount of money Mickie Bennett have to put in to pay musicians, pay background artists, pay the engineer, pay the light bill, pay the water bill, pay the property tax, pay the rent, all of these things, pay the promotion, pay for the video, and all of these things. And you are not contributing to that, you know. But when the producer recoups all of that expense and give you your percentage, if there's any to give, most times the producer don't even recoup. The producer in the red. But you going to go on YouTube now, because I think that is the fashionable thing now. Every
Right.
artist telling them story, and every artist, a producer, rob them and thief them. And it is sad. So, and that is why it is important for intervention like mine to start teaching them the real business. You see? So to really, I think
But
we're
what
going
you are saying is that it's not that we are necessarily lacking talent.
yeah.
We have the talent, but they have no clue of the business side of music.
And unfortunately, and Mikey can attest to this, they don't want to. They don't care. They love the show. Them love the fame. Them love the accolades. Them love the star status, and them love the perks of females and other things that go with it. And most times when you try to sit them down to say, listen, let's look at your business. Let's organize you a particular way. Don't buy the Mercedes now. Buy a regular car. Don't go up into an expensive apartment because your girl tell you say you must go there. Stay away there until you're in a financial powerful
better position
before you do it. And give them the guidance. Say, listen, yes, things happening now, but you're still not making any money yet. They don't, and especially you see, because back in the day in the 90s, you know, an artist have a hit song, you know, he make $1 million or $2 million in one day, you know, from dub plate money alone, you know. You understand? So when you see money coming in them ways there, you think it's gonna happen for the rest of your life, and then you do you make bad decisions, and this is not everybody, you know, because me know artists with own apartment buildings.
Right.
I know people who have apartments all over the place. We know artists who have property, and we know artists who have business. But
Dennis, I'm gonna come back to you. But are they sharing the knowledge? So I'll come back to you on that. Let me go over to Mickie now. Good night, Sherry Beck. Glad to have you. I don't believe I've seen you before on this forum, so I'm glad to have you. Mickie, welcome.
Hey, thanks.
I want to ask you the same question. Where are you now with the music? Where do you see the music going? And what is your involvement in the music right now?
Well, you know, we want to run a recording studio, but for the past,
I know, but I don't know if our guests.
For the past year, I have not been there because
I say our audience.
And this is from a safety perspective.
Yes.
But like Dennis was saying, you know, everything Dennis says is just true. There's the ecosystem of the music industry depends so much on touring, and with the absence of that, it has affected everything. I mean, people used to come from tour with money and book studio time or book rehearsal. That's not taking place now. For the past couple of years, though, and once you pass a certain age, the ability to connect with teenagers, which is in the music, dance, popular music, not very good. And I've been very honest with myself about my ability to communicate creatively. However, so I've not been an active producer. You know, I'm not putting out records. I mean, I have some really good clients, you know, corporate clients. So for the past couple of years, I've made my living from doing commercials. I'm into mentoring. I love mentoring, and and the next move for me is just content creation. I mean, I'm part of the production lab, and one of the things that we're looking for is content creation. So that is where, for the past couple of months, I've been focusing, making notes, doing stuff, the other side. But the other part about the music industry, like Dennis, I am very, very concerned and disturbed. And the proof of the pudding is in the eating. When you have a successful program like the Versus that Beaneman and Bounty Killer had, and we couldn't have a part two, it speaks to exactly the situation that we're in. We couldn't find two other people. Thank God for Barry's the other day. But we couldn't find anybody under 40 to come out and do something. Recently, I saw my popular DJ, producer from America, doing a collaboration. And I said to somebody, it would have been nice if one of the people that he was producing was under 40, because it would mean that there would be a continuation, you know, right. But Dennis made some really good points, and I just like to add to it.
Well, why is that, Mickie? Why is that? Why is that?
Because okay, we do have a template. It's like our track and field have a template that work and will continue to work. Because from you go to a primary school, you put in a class, a form. So there's sports day, and from primary school, somebody's making note of your progress, and it is measurable. Unfortunately, our music is not as measurable. So you can run as fast as, jump as high as. So it's easy to say, okay, you're as good as that. But there's a template put in place. Schools hire coaches, and there's of identifying potential talent, nurturing this talent, training this talent, and through the regular high school champs sports
Yeah, but you
days.
see, people will argue, Mikey, stick a pin. People will argue that it comes from this, especially dancehall. Dancehall comes from the struggle. Dancehall, most people come from abject poverty. So that's where they,
Yeah, but
people
you see,
singing
yeah, but
about
you
them
see,
life, their
I don't know how
experiences,
many people,
and
I don't
that
know
they
if
put
people.
in a structure.
Yeah, but we have, but you see, that's why we have a Dr. Howard. That's why you have to put things in context.
Is that,
What
no, I'm
happened,
just
is that
asking. I'm asking.
music was not intended to be for everybody, In other words, I hear this thing about how much talent we have in Jamaica. I don't see it.
I
I
don't
set
know
up
it.
I invest a couple $1 million in an infrastructure, hoping that talent is going to walk through the door. They're not there. So what has taken
Absolutely.
place is that we have lowered the standards. We have lowered the what you call the matriculation level. In other words, from you can make a sound. There's some equipment and some technology
Yeah.
that can make a sound just give you a sound. And if you are prepared to go beyond certain things, if in other words, in my day, I wanted my song to play on radio. Even though I am not, I want the song that I make, you're supposed to be able to play it in your car with your mother, your grandmother. That is my standard. So that take a certain level of writing. Take a certain level of thing. When people, and I have nothing against what I call now X-rated thing, because I mean when we're growing up we would have like see an X-rated show or with a like setting. The porn industry is a big industry with big producers. But there are standards of performance, standards of acceptance. What
Yeah,
happens is that
but who is to
dancehall
hold
music.
it at that standard, though?
But let me tell you,
Who
no, but
is
what
to
I'm
hold
saying
it to
is
that standard?
but like Dennis say, what Dennis say, when people believe out there, because we have led people to believe that there's so much that and anybody can make it. And all you need is one example. Scamming never does start, so scamming started somebody seeing something and telling somebody, say, but say you can make it. So it's badness. So once there's an example of somebody who makes something without going doing the works, you can't do it with track and field because no care what your friend them say, you have to go do a meet and you have to do a qualifying time. With music industry, you don't have to do that. No. When Dennis was at IRA FM, I was fortunate enough to have him call and say, let me hear some things. I sent him 10 things. He said, boy, I only like 5 of them. I accept that. Him like 5 of them and him play the 5. Him play the 5 that him like. But after a while, you realize that I was hearing things on the radio that I'm saying, something must have changed because there's no way that would be played 5 years ago. But what happened now? We were faced with all of us are faced. All media are faced with competition called social media. Everybody's a journalist. Everybody's a so the video that we're talking about this video. People feel that some people feel that the way to make it is to be as outrageous as possible. It has worked. It worked for 1 and 2 of them. But like Dennis rightly said, out of an industry of about 3,000 people, 500 people not making money. You understand what I'm saying? So there is this illusion of thing. And anybody can put anything on video. If you find the money, you can do a thing. If you can get a girl to act a certain way, and they do it for money. A lot of times it's just straight money, it's not a thing. But there's an audience. There's an audience. In other words, there's an audience who want things a certain way. And I never knew that till life took me to Waterhouse, took me to Jammies. And I started to go dances and places that I would not normally go. And I heard people cutting dub plates and saying things and using bad words. And I'm saying, really? But there's a market for that. There's a market for porn. There's a market for gun violence shows. But we accept some of it. So in other words, sex, rock and roll, and violence have been a part of the thing. We don't have no clearinghouse. We don't have no gatekeepers. So what we have is a problem with no gatekeepers. So if I can just stand up in my yard and start cuss somebody and thing, and somebody videotape me, instead of saying, stop it, man, don't beat her, somebody videotape it, and that video start to trend, become trend. You know what people say? Oh, it's so me get my thing out. You remember the Dancehall Queen movie? The Dancehall Queen movie alluded to something that is so powerful. In other words, people living very invisible lives. In other words, nobody never, there was nothing in place, no system in place for that like a black girl in that place to make it. She's invisible. There's no system in place. There's no education project geared at that you down in certain place. Him leave school and nobody don't care. Nobody don't go check up. Why not at school? There's nothing in place. And him see something, him see there's crime. And when we talk about violence, you know, let us look at the priority of things that cause violence, not music, poverty, but parenting or lack of, and peer pressure. Music come way down. Music is used to call music because they are graphic things.
But Mickie,
But would music be one of the vehicles? Because a lot of people use music as a vehicle to sell stuff, to promote stuff, because people are tuned to something, it's very catchy.
Yeah, but before you
don't really focus on the words, but then after a while, the words become like commonplace.
Yeah, but before you go there, Sandra,
yes,
Mickie mentioned some of the areas that cause the crime and violence. Well, one of the main reasons for violence in our society, you know, is the system, is the state. The state is the most violent among entities in Jamaica. And this has been going on before independence, when the British was here and they unleashed violence and horrors on us as slaves and as colonial subjects. Them use the Bustamante when him harass and kill off a whole heap of the Rastafarian, the Coral Garden massacre, which him should be ashamed of, and I don't know how him become national hero. I'm deadly serious. And the thing is, he continued that colonial mentality where he said, listen, kill them, and then you can ask question after, because they never valued us. The system still don't value us. The Prime Minister is licking out against poor people for breaching the COVID-19 measures. But me see all of the big uptown friend them, some of my friend and some of Mickie friend, on social media do the same thing. And he's not talking about them. So these poor people always feel the brunt. Police beat them. A youth was sitting and I eat bun and step and they murder him. That is the problem. And so the violence is not only from the music. It is coming from the state.
We're not blaming the music, you know.
Yeah.
We're just saying that the music is
no. I know, but we don't reach there so yet, you know. I'm just saying, the source of the violence in the society are the ones that we just enunciated.
Right.
Like I said, I'm named about 3 of them, and I am including the state itself, who disrespect the average person in this country. Them beat them when you go to a government in place. Them police women body, you can't have on braid, you can't have on strap. Our elderly woman went to go get her COVID-19
injection,
and a security tell her so she can't go in because she have on sleeveless. What kind of madness this is? A 60-year-old woman. This is the kind of violence that is unleashed on Jamaican people on a daily basis from the state.
But Dennis, let me tell you the biggest violence, so Sandra, without going, and like Dennis, like me, like Dennis, numbers. I did some research for this program. Is over $100 billion worth of corruption based on the audited reports, you know. Not me say over 100 billion. If half of that could have solved our education problem. In other words, so that's the greatest violence against the society. 1 over 100 billion in corruption. An account, in other words, money does come to and nobody not giving an account for it. And nobody has ever been impeached or held accountable. And these are people who take an oath. Dan, they look at DJ, them never take no oath. So the money that was supposed to go educate them, never go educate them. The mother have 7, 8 picnic. And they said, man, go over Jamis, go try a thing. Because you know the yard, they make a nice and thing. And before you know it, I'm prepared to say something that nobody else won't say, and everybody know. And somebody find it fascinating. And before you know it, we start a whole new industry called the gun industry, the gun sang them. So producers have a thing and man come in and producer say, you have song? I say, yeah. What kind of song? I have a gun song, I have a girl song, I have a reality song. Based on the producer and say, well, I'm selling more. Give me the gun song. So you understand? So these are reality that we at the time we don't want to admit.
Admit to,
because
yeah.
it's not politically
But Dennis,
Yeah.
as someone who is into training,
Yeah.
the producers that are coming out of Jamaica, are they equipped? Are they trained as well? I
Well,
mean, this is where the music goes to be produced and to be put out to the people.
Well,
What kind of training, what kind of experience, exposure are the producers, the managers, these people that handle these artists?
Yeah. Well, more than before, there is opportunity for people to be trained. You have different
opportunity.
Yeah, man.
The ones who are now
But
out the music.
Yeah.
Are they from grassroots, come up without no training, or is
it's a mix?
Are they now actively?
It's a mix because some of the producers and engineers is YouTube train them. But you have institutions now that offer training. UTech just started a program. The Media Technology Institute has been producing most of the engineers and producers, the young lot that are doing well now. It's not like in the days of Mickie where there was a informal training ground, but highly skilled in terms of passing on information to each other. But Mickie learning production chops from working with a plethora of producers before himself, and it went down the line. Musicians teach him how to play the piano and play the guitar. So there is an established system, but it's informal. Now we have formal institution. Apart from Edna Manley, which was there for a long time, you have formal institution that train people. But you still have a lot of people who are self-taught, and nothing wrong with self-learning because that's where the technology is.
But okay.
But
what I want to ask you, when I say training, is there a standard? And let's say, for example, this production house is spitting out pure garbage, for argument's sake. I don't know anything about music, so this is not my area, so I'm just speaking hypothetically. Is there a body? Just like how you have, let's say for argument's sake, athletics. There's a standard. Is there a standard?
Yes, there's a standard. But
based on what I'm seeing or hearing, it's difficult to accept.
Yeah, well, hold on. Sandra.
Oh, it is working with what the people want.
No, hold on. It's two separate things. One is a sociological issue, and one is a pedagogical issue. Standards are there when you're teaching people. But people understand how to make a song, them know for the engineering, but and how to write a song. The sociological part of it is that most of the people who want to become artists, because it's the only option for them, there is no way that they're going to be successful, because the system for the last 100 years, because may I include the British Dominion, and since independence, the successive governments have not provided for young people in inner cities and rural area for the poor. They have not done a good job of it. So these people now decide that the only way them going to Shabba said it what day, you know. Shabba said when him a struggle and him can't get nowhere with jammies them. Him go home and tell him mother say, yo, I rob and kill people now, you know. Because that was the only other option for him. And his mother sit him down and said, no, you're my picnic, that can't work. And you see the rest is history with Shabarang. But imagine how many other youth never had a Mama Christine to intervene and make him become the great Shabarangs that he has. So the sociological issue now is that when I want to do some song, and Mickie Bennett and me say, come into the studio, my youth, give me some lyrics. Him can't sing no love song like what Mickie Bennett used to write. Him can't sing no song about consciousness and black consciousness. He knows nothing of it. Him going to sing about his environment. Him going to sing about gun and girl and skin out. Him don't know nothing, because remember, some of these guys start from them at 13, 14, 15 in the studio. A little youth them, and them don't know nothing else. You see how Bounty Killer, after years of being exposed, making money, going all over the world, say that he regret doing some of this Skullfibor song them. And I give Bounty Killer enough maximum respect for see that a youth can start at one place and evolve and have the maturity for deal with the issues and don't kind of skirt it and get egotistical about it. And I say maximum respect to him. I always I rate him out of all of the other artists them. Because some of them are still hypocrite, the one them in them 50s and 60s, still a talk crap and not identifying that, hey, we should acknowledge that some of the things them what they do. And Bounty Killer say, yo, me never know no better. Me never know no better. So it's the same thing. You can't tell people to do things. And as Mickie tell you the scenario too, the people them who they want to attract, not necessarily want to hear about can you know. And then they want to hear about telephone love. Them don't want to hear about that. They don't understand that either. Enough of them never get a hug in them life. Enough of the girls them are being victimized, sexually abused. The boys them are get beaten, kick up all over the place from them parents. If them mother take up a man, where's not them father? Them come last. Them get beaten, them get kick up, and them get kicked out of the house. And this is the
parenting. Yeah.
So when them we you gonna tell them about conscious music? When them go on party, them want to hear the dog foolishness. So it's a rock and a hard place, because the people them who creating the content don't know nothing else. The people them who consuming the content at the initial stages, we're not talking about radio and a dance hall, and most people get popular before them go up on radio. And in the dance hall, it's the same pool of people, you know. The only kind of love relationship them have is living vicariously through R&B music, and because the church is strong in the ghetto, they might hear some of the gospel songs, so them love that, and they use that part of their the music as them solace. But when it comes to the one them who are really in a church and all of them things, then everybody still, every artist I talk about, hold up your hand if you love God. Every artist and every selector say that in a dance. So God is central in the thing. Christianity is central in the thing. But they want them come for excitement, them drink too liquor. Them don't want to hear only love from the R&B people. Them want to hear them own reality. Them want to hear about those man a ball shot and all of them foolishness there. And the thing is, the movies and the media glamorize white gangsterism and violence. The Terminators, the Clint Eastwood, all of them stuff there. Those things are freely being distributed in the country. We see the magazines, the rappers them. So you can't then tell these youth, so they mustn't do it. When this is what you see all over, Policeman a bad man, Bigger Ford, Leng, Tony Hewitt, Django. Even the police, the state apparatus, bring off this bad man, star boy business. Then we expect persona. We expect them to do. And so the critical problem is you have to deal with the social ills, the miseducation of people, the lack of education of people, the people them not have nowhere to live. And we start a war on squatters, and we move people, sell it to uptown rich people, and I run people off a land. Every day you see them bulldoze people place. Them go for Port Royal because them want tourists and white people to come. And bulldoze the people them. Them do it all about all of the farmland where people depend.
But the thing is, we have to start putting structure in place, Dennis.
That's the point.
What are you gonna do?
But at the state for do it. At the state to do it. Because let me tell you, art, you cannot censor art. Even when all of these people are living better lives, people are going to talk about gun. And people are going to talk about, and you have misogynistic lyrics.
Sherry says, Mikey, that she disagrees with you that Jamaica that we don't have the talent. She believes that we have the talent, but they are not given the opportunities.
Hold on. No, I'm happy she brought that up. I don't mean that the talent, not people out there can sing, you know. It's just that the parents don't see it as a viable option, and I don't see it as a viable option right now. So what I'm saying, the talent that walking through the studio gates, not great. Not the vast majority.
The talent that is walking through because they have to come through. Because they need to survive.
What I'm saying, okay. I used to do talent search. I mean, I've been on every talent program looking. And I don't see the people that we're talking about. I mean, if they were there, they would have shined through. But guess what happened now? So, and this is something that Dennis and I need to talk to one of these days. So we moved from two scenarios. There was a station now in the golden years of reggae and things. There were few good producers and studios chasing a lot of artists. So when Coxsone was under Coxsone Mango Tree Yard, you had 10 world-class singers. Now we're talking about Ken Booth and Alton Ellis and Dennis Brown. So I'm at that level of thing. When I was at Jammies, I had to pick off the dancer to work with every day. So in the past 10 years, we have moved from, say, call it 100. No, not so much. Call it 50 qualified, established producers, because we accept alcohol role. To now we have about probably 10,000. The studio population, when I built my studio in Vinatown, there was no other studio. There are 3 on the road itself. There's at least 30 studios in Vinatown right now. And I'm being conservative. And by studio, I mean people who recording people, putting it out on YouTube. So I'm happy that there are some institutions that trying to offer some kind of service, which is really, really crucial. But them can't keep up.
What are the institutions?
But I'm saying they're not making any dent in that population. The people who calling themselves producers,
right, have
moved from 50 to at least 10,000 right now across Jamaica. It's a whole heap of them.
Because you have a
anybody who make a rhythm right now, anybody who make a rhythm,
is a producer.
Whether on a Fruit Loop or thing there, call himself a producer.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So in other words, that whole icon or the qualification. I say because there's not a clearinghouse. There's not a clearinghouse that say, okay, like I say, when at the heights of radar situation, radar was at least one place that you could say, okay, you're gonna get the best of what was taken, right, or the majority of the best. Certain things you are not going to hear. So what happened now? There was a total alternate musical economy taking place that I was not aware of until later on. So some of the stuff that we heard on dancehall, I am convinced that the early dancehall music was not made for exposure, was not made for especially for export. People in them yard and them start to beat some fence and people start to get risky with certain things. Him never expect it to be. And I heard, I think it's Bounty Killer I heard say it one day. When him said certain thing, him never expect it to be played on the radio. In other words, is when him selectors force and take out a little word and put it and force it to play because it's a hot tune. So all of us in our way, whether by commission or omission, help to erode that like a standard of acceptability in terms of music.
But if you have the market, people
there's
going
no
to
market.
produce it.
That's a mistake.
So therefore, it's a startup problem.
There is no market. There's what I'm saying. The minute the music went digital, our sales thing dropped by 80% by the next day. So like Dennis was saying,
the market is a mistake.
Of course, we could have used the chart as a thing. So like Dennis said, the reggae chart, the Billboard reggae chart, if you sell 50, you probably reach number 1. So there are the numbers. So I mean, I don't know where.
That's in 51 to 50? 50. Or 50,000?
50. or 7.
Let me tell you something. I don't know why people still produce, and one of the greatest gifts to Jamaica is the fact that some people still going into the studio and producing. Because, like Dennis said, for every, oh God, they are losing money left, right, and center. A lot of the things you're hearing, some youths make some rhythm, some artists hear it and say, all right, give me the rhythm. That same artist rent my studio, bring the rhythm down there, and do the voice and thing with my engineers. However, when you see it come out, you see the name of the other person who made the rhythm as the producer, which is fine. I don't have no problem with that. But because of how there's just no, and I guess the most everybody can hoping for is that a DJ seller, one of these companies, getting license one of the songs. First time it was VP, but VP moved from a $3,000 advance to probably like $150 advance, and you can't blame him because I'm not selling nothing.
Yeah.
So it's a thing people doing it. We have a dub plate economy, music economy now. So half of the things that people doing are for dub plates. Now when the sound's not able to play and clash against each other as much as
reduce.
Even that.
So wait, so when Sherry says the audience minds are trained to accept what the gatekeepers send out there, that's a fallacy then.
Yeah, but there's no gatekeepers. But there are no gatekeepers. That's what I'm saying. With social media, there are no gatekeepers. That is the problem, you know. There are no gatekeepers. So when you have a picnic at your house at a certain age, you better check up on them every now and then. You put some stuff so that them can go on certain sites, because all them have to put is put in the word sex and shit. The whole every piece of porn is there. So Sandra, there are no gatekeepers.
Yeah, Sandra, listen. There are a couple artists that emerge in this new dispensation. Radio is not responsible for any of them. Jada Kingdom, Stark Ashley, Chanel Muir. Who else? There's a whole heap of them. Where them start? Instagram, Facebook. So there's no gatekeeping. It's a good thing in a way, but it's also a bad thing because sometimes, as Mickie said, the standard is not.
The standard is zero.
Yeah, and then the audience have different. We can decide what people like. That's another thing. And if people like what they're offering, they're going to get there. Most of the personalities that we have now, the when name again, Dr. Berry, the who else again? Quite Perry. None of them had go through this formal system of media, radio, television.
Influencers. Yeah.
They are them advertisers of look on Badacat. Badacat is a little ordinary man where do construction and sit down and reason with him friend them. Him there in a commercial now. They might endorse things. So it's a good thing in a way because you're getting all kind of different things and no gatekeeper who have a particular mentality. And the mentality is a racist mentality of saying certain people can't come on with media and we can't expose them because they're black and poor. That kind of lick down now. But in another way, there's the quality of the music I got dip. You understand? Because there is not enough musicianship in what is being done. There is not enough creativity. I would even say we can take out the technological part, the technical part, but there's not enough creativity because there is not the kind of transference of knowledge that a Mickie Bennett benefited from, that me benefited from. And
yeah, but they don't need to look to you anymore because they have YouTube.
People.
They don't need to look to you guys anymore because
that's the point.
They have YouTube.
Yeah, but they're missing some of the elements. Listen, if you don't know nothing about music, if you don't know nothing about key, if you don't have that interaction as musician, all we're going to have is the same old that is boring as hell. Musicianship, good music is made through collaboration. That is one of the essence of our Jamaican music. Collaboration. And having people who will allow you to be creative. You understand? That done for. Because what these now new producers now are living off the creativity of the musicians of the past. Every rhythm that you hear nowadays is a sample from somewhere, either hip hop or reggae or dancehall or ska or what have you. And even if it is not an original, it's not a sample, the sound themselves are samples of those old songs. So basically what you're doing is just regurgitating that what is as
All right, let me read 2 comments. Sherry says that Mr. Bennett, let's go back to the days before social media. She's saying that we had the same problem. Dwight is saying the talent for clean, uplifting, conscious music is not being fueled or nurtured. Lately, I have been exposed to current reggae gospel singers with quality voices. The producers are clearly the problem. Moral fabric has been eroded by current dancehall lyrics and content. Only a few in that arena are global, and we know why. Lyric, content, and delivery. What do you have to say about that?
But there's a contradiction there. The implication then is if the gospel music is that good, why it should take care of the bad music?
No, but because the consumption, the people who are doing the consuming.
But Sandra, all right, so let me show you something. You run an industry and you have a certain quality. You know what it costs to do that at the level that you do it at. So whatever you charge, whatever your price point is, you know that, okay, I need X amount of people walking through every day to make it work. A little man set up a little thing underneath on tree, and him stay out there and man sit down, and him charging a quarter of what you charge. Him do have no overhead, him do have no nothing, and him cut off some head, and fine, everybody happy. Them, so him have a marketplace.
Right.
When a lot of these youngsters making music, they're not thinking about me and you, you know. You have to go on Facebook and them not thinking about you or me. Them have that. It's like I call it the Vibes Cartel thing. Vibes Cartel saw a 30% of potential fan base in Jamaica and said, listen, I'm not busy with Mickie Bennett and Dennis Howard and Sandra Samuels and them people. I'm all right, no respect, but me know who me making these songs for. So there is a market that's been carved out. And carved out a long time. Prince Buster used to have an audience, as Dennis can tell you. But there was an audience now. So it's like Portia Simpson, the Portia Simpson syndrome. Portia was a person, and that's why the party needed her, because she knew how to communicate at a certain level to certain people. Some people never rate her because she wasn't, she never brown and she never come from things. But her ability to communicate. So when she said no girl, no boy, she knew exactly who she was talking to. And she knew that 30% support that she have would not back away when she said no girl. It will endear them. That party that she was needed that 30%. When you translate that to economics now, producers are not, we never go into this thing to make money, you know. So when my rhythm them cost at the end of the day, it used to cost 150 to 200,000 to make. After a while, I realized I can't make that. I stopped. You understand what I'm saying? Other people going to it and say, boy, yeah, you do the produce, you do it a certain way, but them kind of thing not selling again. Maybe true. Success leave clues. Like Dennis said earlier, if money was being made like how money was being made in the 90s, and money was being made in the 90s by people who are the best songs, the Dave Kellys and the thing, the best songs, the best set of Jamaican thing, and before. So there was a market for that. When Dave said, boy, Mike, it might, everybody thinks it, but him not making the money no more. Which a point, I putting out all this effort and all this thing. But it not translating to economics. I better go do something someplace else. Probably the two remix and two things. And if you notice, a lot of the producers of a particular era, you don't hear them no more. They're not into the thing because there's no money to be made. So there's been a vacuum created because of the absence of money. In other words, the pool not big enough. So one of the things that we have to be able to do is take out the exceptional cases when we're trying to make generalizations. So we take out the Marleys and we take out the Shaggies and we take out the Sean Pauls and take out the Shabbas and things. And you say, okay, even right now, we should be talking about Beenie Man and Bounty Killer 20 this time now. But who are they making money? I remember Bogdanovich said to me one day, we're in this talent show for some fest. And him say, say, there are 5 artists in a bit we're talking about. Him say, reggae dead, dancehall dead. Him say, there are 5 artists. If you don't have one of them on your show, you can't keep a show in Jamaica. And I said, nah. And him start to call, could you keep a show without? And I said, right, it is true. So we have been down to now for the past couple of years, dancehall down to about 10 potential headliners. How come? And half of these headliners, half of these people are over 50. So those are young things, But so I'm saying, so I think a lot of time we mix, the influence, and then like another thing, that Celine Dion is probably more popular in the dancehall than any other artist them. Because there's a different acceptance, fair enough.
Yeah.
Them call her the panty draw CD them. Every woman have them Celine Dion thing. When I went to Celine Dion show, I was amazed at the amount of people with a figure who go dancehall. And the lady said, nah man, dancehall is a dancehall. It's just how we think that. I'm not taking, in other words, so the way me carrying on about a certain lyric that we see. That is the kind of conversation, as Dennis said, that them hearing in them backyard every day or out in the corner, and when the police them pass around us. So we trying to grapple with this thing, this reality. How, as Jamaica is such a divided country, in other words, Kingston, there's about 5 or 6 subcultures taking place in Kingston at the same time, with different value systems, different levels of quality. Just like how you have your thing and you go down on the street. I mean, I have a friend who do lashes and things. And I went downtown that day and I see people doing lashes on the sidewalk. Yeah. Price point. Some people want people to know that them have on lashes. Whereas his clients don't want nobody to know that them put on lashes. You know what I mean? So it's 2 total different approaches to.
Yeah, but Dennis, what I hear you and Mike is saying, is that really and truly, the producers don't really have much control these days.
Yeah, but I don't know why the argument even come down to producers, because.
No, I don't know either.
Yeah, because the thing is, the thing changed and it's been changed a long time. The people who have the power right now. The people who have the power now are the few artists.
We call it now. There will be no more need for a producer shortly. Is that what you're saying?
Not really. Not in the way that we used to have it, where a producer, put out all of the money and do the promotion and sometimes act as a manager. Those days are gone. And the producer don't have no power. Nobody back when Mikey was working at Jammy's, not all artists could have entered Jammy's Gate. No, not every artist could have entered Bobby Digital Studio nor Mixing Lab. People had to stay out. Myself and not everybody could have come through Mikey's studio. You stay outside.
When we touch that point. All right, on this point now. All right, so I saw a song. Well, my mentee, I have a mentee that I got from Queens, and as what we were watching Entertainment Report one night, and this fellow came up, and she says, "Auntie, if you ever heard his other songs," and I was like, "So this is the type of music that she listens to." And when I listen to the song, I'm saying to myself, and I'm not. But let me be clear, I love dancehall. I love dancehall music. I like the beat, I like the rhythm. I just love the colorfulness of dancehall. But where it's going, I don't understand. So I just want to play a clip. Let me put a disclaimer. It is graphic. The words are not particularly palatable. but I want you to listen to watch the first line of the song. And the reason why I'm bringing up this song is because we're talking about in the whole sphere of things in society. We're talking about crime, we're talking about violence, we're talking about domestic violence, we're talking about a whole heap of different things that affect women. But then when we debase women in a song, and it's now the words are put to music, it's chanted by women, you know. This is the shocking thing about it. It's being sung by women. So I want to ask you, is there a disconnect? Or is it that people have just become numb? Just listen to these people. Please.
Fresh no fuck chain and drip me just beard. My browning mouth me use for my ashtray. No bother size up, I just my by my last name. Tats them up and everything carpien. Pants then straight white marina hands. I no fucking on my brain young grades. Feel for thought about my sweet master. Drink and junk, charge up Pikachu. Josh drop, my girl me got you. I will have a she puff fast, pretty fly vacuum. Bad song, pull you up for me shot you. Me vivi dash your money like say me mad out.
No, people. Explain to me, Dennis. How did we get? I mean, I can understand gun lyrics because it's out there. I can even understand sex lyrics because it's out there. When did females become a human ashtray? I don't get that. This thought process. How did we arrive at this spot?
It's a generational thing. It's a generational thing. A lot of the females that are involved in this kind of activity and like it and endorse it, they don't see themselves as being affected. And this is I teach. And when I ask them the question, this is what they tell me. I'm just not coming up with this. So they're saying, that's not me. I am not like that. And I am just endorsing this vicariously because I am young. I love excitement, but that's not me. Me not going to do that. I saw a video with Chensia, which I thought was kind of, showing the worst of women. And my female students told me that, listen, that's empowering. Them don't say anything wrong with it. It's empowering. She shows that she in charge of her sexuality and she does not making nobody determine how she carry herself. So they are looking at it in a different way from how we look at it. It is not a moralistic issue for them. I've seen.
There's no morality in terms of dumping ashes in somebody's mouth. As I said to you before, I can't see the sexual evolution with women, and they're no brazen, and they talk about being the side chick if they want to be the side chick, and being this if they want to, and doing oral sex if they want to do it. I can understand when I say I don't accept, but I can understand where it's coming from. But I'm trying to understand the debasing. Why didn't he empty it in a man's mouth? I don't understand.
But there's a video right now from another of these new artists. When called is a song named Freaky Girl by Squash. You want to see that video? He's peeing on the girl. And lyrics in the song say that
who puts out these songs?
The same artist them that everybody jumping up.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
And I'm wondering
how the artists themselves put it out or the producers put it out.
No, but sometimes the artists and the producer are the same, are the same. That's what we're telling you, Everybody's a producer now. You just want to have a laptop, you want to have Fruity Loops. What them call Fruity Loops now? RL or something like that. and or if you even have Garage Band as a digital audio workstation, you are a producer. That's the point. People them use them closet for the studio, them use them bathroom for the studio, or if them have enough money, them put up a studio, and most of the studio is like a bedroom. So it's not, there's no distinction between established producers like Mickie Bennett and Jack Scorpio and Bobby Digital and Dennis Howard again. You know? The same artist.
So where's the music going then? So where's the music going? Because if this is what our children are consuming,
that's what I said.
If I can empty ashes in your mouth, then there's no problem with me thumping you in your mouth.
Wow.
But Sandra,
you're dancing to that. If you're dancing to that and consuming that, and we have no control over it because it's YouTube or it's the internet or whatever.
And it's of the most hits.
No, when you think about it's the art form. So when you think about a movie like Passions of the Christ, right? It had all the violence that any movie could ever have. But because of who the subject was, we accept it. So the person who played the wicked role, the actor who got paid to debase himself to play that thing. When you watch shows where people are being victimized, movies and things, somebody wrote that script, somebody got that script, and somebody decided to play that role of this woman who is being brutalized. Where there's a story of a big dancer named rolling by the river, anyway. So what I'm saying, so a young lady who decided to play that role, decided to play a role and I'm not prepared to play the role. In other words, so the fact that you feel a way about it is exactly what was the intention.
Yeah.
If you never had no reaction to it, it would not have been effective,
And she don't see herself as in that role.
No, but what I'm saying, when you're doing a movie or you're trying to make a message, or when you're trying to send a message, when a particular actress is going to play the role of an abused woman, or somebody is going to play the role of an abuser, what he's doing to the art form is helping to tell a particular story. The effect of that story, how me and you react to that story, speak a lot about me and you as opposed to other people. So what I'm saying, me and you shock and ratting, I wouldn't do that. And maybe if I was producing the video, that would not be. But that is where me there. Other thing about that, I have to go back to that Dennis said earlier, the money.
Speaking about internet, these persons are influencers.
Yeah, but there are people who
and YouTube. These are influencers.
No, I don't know if they're influencers. They are hustlers. There are people who try and listen, and they're afraid to even judge you. But I don't think, based on how his voice sound, I wouldn't record it. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of classical producers wouldn't record it.
Oh, what you're saying?
I wouldn't.
The acceptance level.
You because he has a recording device. And YouTube.
No. But him have a style. Him have a thing. In other words, he probably have a fan base. And a sound man pay him for the dub plate.
Yeah, but so Intense put out a video. Intense put out a video every week, and record a new song almost every week.
Who that?
The same artist. Intense.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, the same artist. So that him not the fact of the matter is, no producer. Him don't need no producer. Him have himself a crew. He might be a producer himself, and him have him crew, and then just churn out songs like that, and him have a video crew too, and him have cast and everything, and obviously they have some kind of amount of money to produce at that level.
Yeah, but what does that say
every week it's trend on YouTube?
But this is the thing is, I'm trying to say. According to my mentee, the girls are reeling up, singing the same lines to the songs. Right. And so I'm saying, how can we now go out there and talk about the crisis of abuse with women when the women themselves don't even know that it's abuse?
But if they don't feel abuse, is it abuse? When the grandmother used to cuss the god, your whoring mother gone left in the barrel thing. It's a regular conversation at the inner city, you know. Your whoring mother, this and your worthless poop and your thing. So a lot of these kids grow up with that kind of something.
And the mothers even cuss them.
The mothers have like a trust me.
So therefore there's a disconnect then.
No, there's not a disconnect. There's a serious sociological problem in Jamaica which we don't want to address. It is. What we try to do is to solve everything by telling people that we're going to give them money. It is the neoliberal kind of way of prosperity philosophy that rules the world right now. That if you put money in your pocket and put money jingle and you're prosperous and you can drive big car, everything is good. But we're not looking at the major problems within the society. The problems in terms of parenting, the problems in terms of socialization, the problem in terms of the way we treat women, the problems of how we treat men, because a lot of them there is a victimization of young boys in a way in the school system, the police system, and parents tell them say them worthless and them all kill them. Father say me
so what you are saying then, the music, because the topic is the impact of the music industry. So you are saying then, Dennis, with all your experience and exposure, that the music not really, it come down the bottom of the chart.
No, man. No, I didn't say that. Listen, music is one of the most powerful things in the world. Music can make you, but hold on.
Because I thought.
Yeah, but the thing is, the problem is music is very powerful and music is influential. But sometimes what we try to do with the music, and I have been on record writing about the fact that the violent lyrics affect the people who are prone to violence. People who are criminals love the violent tune them. The dance them love it. They demand it. If you go and dance and a dance in there as a DJ and you don't big him up, you'll get some lick. You'll get cuff up and you'll get disrespected. And him soldier them will come and say, yo, the dance there, you know. You better heal him up, you know, or you know it go. And you have to heal them up. And that's an unwritten rule. So the music is influential and it's almost a symbiotic relationship with violence and gangsterism. The extent to which it will allow people who don't have violent tendencies to go shoot people and kill people is still up for debate. And it is, and so we have not had enough empirical evidence to measure the extent to which it affects that, but it does. So what we need to do is to get those research done so that we have definitive answers to this question. But there is no doubt that the music influence and people are influenced by music. Mickie just tell you about, and I mentioned it earlier, Celine Dion in a dance hall is bigger than enough of the DJ artists them what you think of. You understand?
Yeah, but what I'm hearing, but what I'm hearing you and Mike is saying, is that really and truly the stalwarts of the music are the people who put the education and who are the original gatekeepers then, or who put the effort in becoming gatekeepers. What I'm hearing, you know, is that you don't really have much clout anymore.
But that's some music. But a lot of people don't have no influence.
So what are we gonna do?
Some of the politicians them they have no influence enough. The thing is,
Right.
everything changed, technology changed everything. And don't get it twisted, Sandra. The same criticism that we're having about the lyrics of the music now, that has
Yes.
been a given from day one. It's just different degrees and different times. When it was mentor music, they said the music was creating havoc in the society. They banned the first song that was banned is a song named Night Food by Alert Badesi. Wilzo Isaacs went into parliament to condemn it for its outrageousness. Fatty Fatty by the
F-Tones.
Eptones
F-Tones.
was banned for being outrageous and debasing women. There was a song named Festival Rub Up by what's name again? Fade Away, Junior Biles. It got into the top 6. And because it's a festival rub up, it was disqualified. Because from an early dancehall, Yellow Man was the worst scourge in the society. Then you had people like Rankin Slapness, that was General Echo, who used to do the same thing. You have Lee Scratch Perry used to talk about pum pum and my pum pum and this a pum pum. You have things that talk about how I'm gonna wreck a pum pum, Prince Buster. You have Lee Scratch Perry talk about,
And that was outrageous back in the day.
the music has always been that way, but because what seems tame now was outrageous for that time. In the 50s, when Alert Badesi was talking about, I wonder what is this thing called night food? That was outrageous. You had a woman talking about hotels on wheel, talking about the new trend in Jamaica, where men who had cars was to just pick up girls and go have sex with them in them car. And that was outrageous for the time. She same one, the only woman that is known as a mentor artist. She's related. She's related to Alaine. I think he's our cousin or our aunt. You see, and she had a song called "Cutting Wood." And what the girl them want, cutting wood. That was outrageous. When ladies saw come with stab out the meat and all of them stuff there. So this we call it outrage of what is happening now has always been there. So all of these stalwart producers, when Mickie and me produce, dirty songs still are going. When Jammies put out Punani, those songs were called NFAP for radio, not fit for airplay.
But radio don't really have that much of an effect anymore because we have social media.
But
if they can't play on radio, just go to YouTube or.
Fine. But so the point I'm saying, the outrage that we are having and saying that the music gone to the dogs. At every stage of the development of our music, every genre, they said the same thing and legitimately said that. And so it's nothing new. So the argument.
But wouldn't you say because they don't have that control anymore? It has gotten worse.
No, but them never have control. Listen, for the song that I'm gonna tell you about, them never used to play on radio.
No.
Them used to play in a jukebox and them used to play in a rum bar. The mentor band them used to go in. I as a youth growing up, when my father have bar in Western Kingston on Charles Street, right at the corner between Pink Lane and Oxford Street. There were about 10 bars in the little vicinity. And mentor bands used to be in there talking about hugging a minty and she now come out and all kind of tune about 69 and all kind of dirty song. And then that was transferred. They have song like Beef in a Baggy. And I want me find out Thomas Sticky. I want me find out Harriet Jokit. Eileen, Beef in a Baggy there. We don't
know them songs.
Them tune they used to play, I think there in a jukebox. Sound system used to play them too. So there was always an alternative space for all of this music.
Yes, but Dennis,
the alternative space was the internet.
To your point. So why the music not selling then?
No, that's a different matter. It's not even, listen, because even the music that is not along that trajectory, you know, not selling. There are a whole heap of factors.
So
There
they
is
like the chronics, so they like the chronics and the
yeah, but you
coffee
see,
and
we are what let me
the
tell you.
reggae artists.
All right, let's wait to let's go to Jamaica. There is no avenue for records to sell in Jamaica. The only avenue for records to sell is the illegal way. The pushcart man them and they sell a lot of music. So it is even not a fair statement to say that Jamaicans don't buy music. Them buy illegal music because there are no formal systems like record shops and distribution and even a local online service for people to download music and pay for it. And then so that is one thing. We are assuming that the American gatekeepers and industry want our music to sell. They have never wanted it to sell. So for a long time, Jamaicans could not access Apple. So even if you wanted to download the best song from Mickie Bennett, you couldn't from Jamaica or the Caribbean. You would have to be in New York or you'd have to be in other developed country to buy his record. So we were deprived of even buying our own music. It's since Jay-Z come and then we have D Music, that Spotify
and all the other ones.
And these are jumping early a little earlier. But Spotify and thing they legitimate come up with all kind of cock and bull story as to why they wouldn't offer the services here. Because they are trade restrictions, there are geographical restrictions, there are net neutrality issues that keep us behind the 8 ball. America now wait for we for the get big and make rich. They not do that. We talk about even touring. If you not linked with a promoter that link with the mafia, you know, you can't go nowhere in America, you know. Learn that, you know. So don't believe says the only place that criminality and the music industry link is Jamaica. Mikey will tell you. I've gone to country and promoters, Jamaican promoters, do shows in that area. And the gangster people them decide, say, you shouldn't do it with that man and promoter, you know, you should do it with us. And come at the venue and come sabotage it with some big dirty gun. Sometimes people don't want to talk about the kind of struggles that you think it easy for sell records in America. Jamaican people, we are. That's why what we do is amazing because nobody is. You think at 97 decides, all right, we are going to play 10, 15 dancehall this week or this month. The summer them give 2. So, and when was the last time we had a Jamaican song that make any sense? That got big? Because one, the quality is shit, and 2, they are not readily saying, hey guys, come, bring the material and we'll play it. You have to go through a major hoops. Mikey can tell you, he's a producer that has worked with major labels. I have worked with major labels. The Sonys, the Big Beat, the Atlantic, the Electra. They are not there waiting to make us rich. And so that is why we have these problems. That's why it now sell. We're talking a nonsense argument about the Grammy. Every year we cuss about certain Jamaican artists not get nominated for Grammy. They don't give a shit about you. If your song was not released in America, and if you don't have a record company behind you, you are not getting on. I'm very sorry. And so this thing about is a Marley thing. It is not a Marley thing. It is the backing that Marley in terms of record company. There is also recognition and there is also racism and xenophobic behavior where them don't look upon us as equals. We will never get in the next 10 years live coverage of the Reggae Grammy. It's not worth it. You have categories in the Grammy whether they fail 30, 50, 60 years, and they will never see the light of any because you have a polka category, you have a piano, what do you call it, piano music, this, you have jazz, you have R&B, classical R&B, not, which is American, will never get a live thing. And we are inflating ourselves. We can't even sell. When last a album from Jamaica or a reggae song sell?
So what? So all right.
So how are you going to talk about you want live coverage on Grammy? That don't make no sense.
So are we having, all right, so hold on now, Dennis. So what kind of discussion are we having then with our Jamaican artists?
We're having idiotic discussions and inflating our worth. Everybody talk about the potential and the great talent. I know reggae is big in Japan and big in where. It's not big nowhere. It is only influential. It is influential. But listen.
What is the difference? What is the difference?
Bigness is numbers. Bigness is numbers. And you can tour. A lot of you can tour all over the world. And you end up, draw 100,000 people. No artist in Jamaica or from Jamaica can do that right now. I don't care who. None of them can do it. Them can't go in a one concert hall and draw 100,000 people. That is bigness. Bigness is when your record come out and in a 2 day it go platinum. Bigness.
But Sean Paul and Shaggy streaming how much millions now?
Yeah,
well, Sean Paul is the biggest, let's say.
No, Bob Marley.
That's what I've listened to on ER.
Bob Marley. Bob Marley is the biggest streaming artist out of Jamaica.
Still?
Yep. And all them songs them go up on the Billboard charts for the last 10, 15 years. The reggae Billboard charts.
I was watching Entertainment Report up to Friday, and they were saying that Sean Paul is the biggest streaming artist right now, and then you have Shaggy, then you have Shensia, as Shensia must say the main female that is streaming. I mean, her number's not very big, but
me tell you, say, Bob Marley is the biggest streaming artist out of reggae. Nobody make nobody tell you nothing otherwise. You understand?
UB40.
and then you have, I told them talk about UB40. And don't talk about all the
other. We're talking about out of Jamaica.
Yeah, but could we go back to the other part of the conversation though?
Yeah.
I remember, like it was yesterday, a conversation between Caroline Cooper and Motty Perkins about metaphors, and she said he was talking about, it must be based in Bob Marley. I mean, referring to the song, I feel like bombing a church because all the preachers and thing, I must make it up Bob Marley to be this, this what you call it, terrorist. In other words, if Bounty Killer said that today, or one of the people said that today to the cause that thing. And what Caroline Cooper said to him, argued, very impressive to me, is that metaphors didn't die with Shakespeare. So a lot of things that young people are adopting now. So when the sound clash, Dennis can probably, when in the sound clash era, there were a lot of metaphors used to make, like, kill a sound boy and this and thing, right?
Right.
So we can accept it because sound boys don't get killed. Sound boys don't get killed. Or if we murder something, or if we kill something, referring to sex, right?
Or fire. When I use the word fire.
Yes, what has happened?
Burning.
Yes, but
it's not literal fire.
To use metaphors in the hands of a good writer, very effective. A lot of young people don't understand the power of metaphors. So, in other words, what the metaphors are now being replaced by real things that them see happening. So, in other words, and a lot. So when there's a lot of, my biggest problem in Jamaica is the amount of them songs, right? In the past, when the Babs and the Peter Tossen was talking about them was referring to systems, the system of oppression and things.
Yeah.
No. Them now referring to when somebody around the corner. Very parochial kind of station.
Yeah.
So, like I say, I know you have been to a place and somebody's giving a speech, and because and the place full of poor people and semi-educated people. But because one person of a certain ilk is there, the whole all of a sudden them figure them have to speak a certain way. What dancehall did was went the total opposite. We're not even trying to impress you. We are saying the way we say it on the street.
Raw. The raw, the better.
There's a new raw set of, and it was a kind of, you can't know, not more than acceptance of the culture, but it's almost like, yes, may have forced the culture. If you even listen to the accent of speaking, especially amongst women now, it has changed so much. In other words, people not apologizing for speaking pattern more. In other words, no, is a very forceful, and I love it. It's colorful and it's sexual and it's sensual. But it is embraced to say, listen, I'm me this, I'm a black woman, I'm a Jamaican, I'm a Tunguti. There's a lot of misguided youngsters, people who can't write. And I also think that because of the lack of talent pool, what to call the classical voices, the voices, the Shabbas and the Bounty Killer and the Bujas, the kind of voice that the Pentecostal voices. Because one of the things that I realized is that the Bujas and the things sound a lot like the Pentecostal pastors.
And the revival.
Eh?
And the revival.
And the revival.
So in other words, they already made this connection, this emotional connection with people. So they must talking forcefully. And when you listen to somebody, if you ever really listen to somebody conversation of these pastors to the congregation, talking about sex and what I'm not to do, it is as graphic as any DJ.
Absolutely.
Right? In other words, you just set them up, them take the position of you mustn't do this, but I'm going to all the details like the same with the gunman and say you mustn't and call out all of the name of the gun.
Them looking forward just like the
them looking forward. That's the same exact thing. Well said, Dennis.
So we're going back to lights.
Everybody looking forward right now because
we're going back to lights. We're going back to lights.
Yeah.
It's not selling. So what is happening is people are selling an experience. So you experience something when you watch that video of a man having the audacity to put some cigarette in a girl's mouth, and she just do it, and it's an emotional flashpoint for you.
Yeah.
Whereas when Dennis,
because to me it symbolizes, I don't know what it means to you as a man, but to me it symbolizes like you don't count me, it's like I'm trash. So I might as well empty out my cigarette in your mouth because you're nothing.
But hold on. We understand production. That girl was coached to open her mouth at that particular time, and she chose to do it because she's getting paid to do it. She's an actress for that part. So what I'm saying, success leave clues, So when you in an inner city, see Bogle and a set of dancers who start to do a thing, and before you know it, them start to tour. And I said, but I just dance my dance. Luckily, this dance became a significant part of the experience that people have when they go to things. So one of the things that we're looking for more now, and when people go to a dancehall show, is an experience they want, They want to feel like the street. Because the dance, the street dance is almost like musical theater, Because whether it's the pan man, them and everything is so negotiated. If you pay the pan man for beat him pan when you sing and play him, don't play it. You pay him and then play it, and everybody say, "Whoa, something going on." So there's an experience that most people enjoy when they go to a reggae show or a dancehall, and it's a different experience.
Yeah.
But it's because it is so authentic. It has this pull. So somebody who don't understand what bad words and don't understand some of the words, sit and just feel, oh, this is so real, and they want it the same way. It's like in Nollywood, the $200 movies that they put out, like 100 of them every week. And Nigerians not trying to get no aesthetics. They just want to see that, okay, another one. And so what happened right now, we're into this disposable era of our music. Most of the things that you happen play, most of this 90% of the songs that are made don't get played on the radio one time. Most of them, if them get played one time. Same thing that is on YouTube, because it's not selling it up there. And some of them, the ones that everyone that you see have 5,000 views, there's 100 that have 5 views. So it's a numbers game played.
Yeah.
It's just that because some of them are graphic and some of them, we're in a situation now of somebody doing the research and pointing it out. But as Dennis said, the people who should be doing the research are the sociologists at Jamaica. You don't need no more information than the song that you them saying. Why would I use for that?
The lyrics critic said, what would such a research look like, Dennis, when there are so many other factors that influence people's actions?
Yeah, but it's not one research, it's a continuous research.
Why they must be one research? I work on research, man.
I when it comes to that kind of interrogation, I am a cultural studies expert. So I will look at the thing from a cultural studies perspective. Maybe Dr. Gale, Hubert Gale, would look at it from an anthropological perspective. You have people like Dr. Orville Taylor, will look from it from a sociological perspective. Listen, we have to start studying our people and understanding what we're about, you know. And this is not to say that it's not happening, you know, but there's extensive work going on and looking at people. But the thing is, one of the problems is that there is an anti-intellectual mentality in Jamaica. And people believe that you can make it without going to school, and everybody who have a PhD and everybody who have a master's and everybody who have a bachelor's is an idiot or an educated fool. And this is the thing that kills us, because the same principles that we as the people who are not educated and the same philosophies that they push and dismiss education, all of what them live by is dictated by people who are educated and who did research and who people got to university. The economic philosophy that we are living by in this country, and which has been carried out to a T by successive government to the destruction of the economy of Jamaica, is some little white man in a Europe decides, say, yo, I could start talk about something named neoliberalism. You have one named James Buchanan. You have another one named Milton Friedman, who was a advisor to Ronald Reagan. And since 1980, we have gone down this road of neoliberalism. It has taken over a lot of the universities in the Caribbean. And they are pushing this trickle-down economy kind of thing, which is one of the reasons why we are seeing the manifestations in dancehall. Not like this never used to happen until 1980, when Ronald Reagan, Edward Seaga, and Margaret Thatcher come in. The music moved to prosperity, Benz and Bimmers and Gyal and all kind of thing, and it has never abated. And so there have to be different types of studies to understand where we are. It is not going to spend money to give police more vehicle and use and churn out police, new recruits in 2 weeks, because it almost gone down to 2 weeks of training now, and then unleash them on the society to deal with crime. It ain't going to work. You have to understand that there is inequity in the society. Rich people get away with murder, thief, all kind of money. Politicians thief money, as Michael just mentioned, the amount of billions with them thief. And who get the punitive part of it? Poor people. At them then at the prison. At them.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something.
I'm on thief 3 billion and get to it.
Let me ask you something. Two things. Let me say should musicians be held at a particular, artists be held at a particular standard because they have this influencing, whatever you want to call it, opportunity, or they're in a position to influence?
No more than anybody.
Or do you think they understand their power?
no more than anybody else. And a lot of them don't understand it because of how they enter the music. A lot of young people, and yes, a musician, but I don't want to say musician. You talk about
Artists.
the music and the entertainment people, because it's producers, engineers,
Entertainment
musicians,
people. Yes, that's why I said the industry.
DJs, singers, background
The
singers,
collective.
everybody,
The
songwriters,
collective.
yeah. So the creatives
The creatives.
have a responsibility, but you have to educate them and you have to give them the kind of
No, we have to educate them, or they have to seek the education.
no, we have to
Because
educate them, man.
But is the education available?
No, not all the time. You know how much people can't go to school because they don't have no money and them have nowhere to live. We must look at the reality of this country, you know. We try to make it believe that people think they said to something. Him have a song say, Junior Gang say the education basic, but a lot of them waste it and them don't stand a chance at all. And when them waste it, them don't stand a chance at all. You know much, you see all of the things them were happening in the society, music have articulated it, but nobody now friggin' listen. Every one of it. Blood Money is one of the greatest songs of our time. Protege, talking about the inequity in the society. Out of many, but a one set of people I feel it. Him talk about the corruption. No, if you live a cherry garden, nobody, you're not gonna jail. So when you talk about the responsibility of the creatives, they have been responsible, a lot of them, but we don't listen. And the ones who have not been responsible, I am not making an excuse for them, but at some points they don't know what they are doing. Then there are the others that know better and do foolishness too. And so there has to be some intervention to say, yo, straighten up yourself, man. But I will not. Let me get this straight. Now let's say this clear. Music influence. Music influence you to be violent. It will influence you to be loving. It will influence you to be spiritual. They have music for when people are going to war, to motivate them to go kill people. So same way dancehall when Bounty Killer and Beanie Man and Vibes Cartel say man forget shot and bust up him head. Gunman feel good and go and kill people too. And some of the people them who wasn't gunman say, yo, that me want do because they don't have any other alternative. That being said, we can't censor people and creativity because we don't know them circumstances. And Mikey and I tried tonight to outline the nuances,
the reasons, the background,
nuances of how things come out that way. The bottom line is, if you demean people and if you treat them like dirt and them don't know no better, you're going to get what you get. Then there are the ones that know better and exploit it. So we need to call them out and intervene and tell them to shut up them damn mouth because them know better. Because some of the uptown boy them do it too. And some of the boy them were used to be at that point and know better, still continue to do it. You understand? The women Jamaican women have been the victim of a masculine toxicity that is amazing. The toxic masculinity that demean them and objectify them. But then those same
many have accepted it.
But we call that hegemony, you know. It's just like how black people accept say white people say we're inferior. And for centuries we tell we pick them say them black like tar and them black and ugly. And when you make sure you married one white man or make sure you married a brown man, so that you pick them.
Some milk in the coffee.
So what you think say the woman them would have been different? It is hegemony. We call it hegemony, where you start believing in the foolishness where your oppressor them give you. So those are the things that we have to look at. And then there is also a rejection of the the passiveness that we expect of our women. And so that's why the lady saws and the Shenseas them come out and talk the thing out them for talk. And as Mikey said, the girls them talk a particular way. Them I say, yo, we're not business. Nobody come with your colonial foolishness that we must talk nice and that we hear bad. We're not in that. We reject the whole of that foolishness, because all of that, these moral standards that we're talking about are not something to be desired in some instance. We must find our own decency and morality based on our experience as African, for the majority of us, and people who come from all kind of different background. Some of we come from country, some of we come from middle class, some of we come from working class. We must find that Jamaican identity that suits us. The European Victorian crap that we try to impose on people, and the white man masculine behavior where we're marginalized. You think a DJ teach us how to marginalize woman and rape woman? And the colonialists them do that for a long time. The uptown people them abuse poor people, picnic and woman for a long time, and nobody now say nothing about that. But we want to just attack one aspect of the malady. You cannot have, if you have an illness and have 5 places it there. If you have cancer in your toe, and you have cancer in your knee, and you have cancer in your arm, and all you want to do is attack the toe, you got dead from the one in your arm and your knee same way. And that is what we do in Jamaica. We let off the people them who have money and have privilege off the hook, and place all of the blame on poor people who have no facility to defend themselves. And that is why
So Dennis, in our last, I've given you 5 minutes and I'm going to give Mikey 5 minutes. How we fix it?
Make Mikey go first, because I've been talking a little bit.
How we fix it, Mikey?
Well,
first of all, Sherry said there are foreign artists who are making money with reggae and dancehall, but they are not Jamaicans, like Gentleman, for example, etc. So you have people running with the music, and we are still here struggling with the music. How do we fix this?
So the music industry,
and also, based on the topic of the program, manage the influence on the young people.
Okay, so let me compare it back to track and field. So track and field is seeing parents in high school right now. They make sure that them kids go to training, take them to training, because them see a scholarship at the end of champs. So people, so they think they're carrots and they're sticks, right? The music industry is an industry based on star quality, based on star power, you know. So when we say records not selling in Jamaica, record sales, I saw a thing that said every month 9 million records sell less than the year before. So think about, you don't have to buy, you can just go onto YouTube for free. So in other words, so the fact that records not selling is one thing. However, it is possible to get more popular in a shorter period of time and find a little market. One of the ways to set it is to do it is that we have to institutionalize the culture. In other words, so then it spoke about the question of the Edna Manleys, but Edna Manley is in a Kingston. We need Edna Manley need a feeder school. Because between me and you, as powerful as our track and field program is, every 4 years, you have about 20 people who make some money. In normal times, every week you go to the airport, you see people going away to make some money. So in terms as an earning situation, the music business outsell track and field by everything and football. Right. How much infrastructure has been put in for track and field as opposed to music, right? So what I'm saying, we have to take a look at it. We have to legitimize the music. So in other words, we're going to set some standards for it. You can't sing, you can't sing. You can't write, you can't write. Recently, there's a program in a prison that I was doing. And now I know people redeemable. I asked some people to write a song. I was doing a workshop, and some man wrote some song. This a guy in there for a couple of years, and him write this song, this bad man song. So when I talking to him about the song, I said, Burden, why would you write a song? I said, here the song I want you to write. You have any children? And say, I'm a son. I said, I want you to write a song, a letter. The song must be a letter to your son. Saying to him, whatever you do, don't end up here. Sandra, Dennis, when the man rewrite the song and I heard it the next week, I full of water. I couldn't believe that the same person with just some guidance and some instruction
With just some guidance.
was able to write something. The song was so powerful. I mean, I say, so him just about boss, I do some guidance with the one, and that is the next thing. The mentoring and the guidance. That Shakespeare, in other words, in every literature teacher should be teaching Bujo, Bob Marley, so and so. In other words, using literature using dancehall or reggae to teach
Dancehall.
because I remember Kwame Dawes from Think the Fame say he was teaching at Casey and he had a literature class right after lunch and the boy didn't sleep. And he was going down and he heard Josie Wales, Lego Man Gate Man. I went sit down and listen to it. Him say, but this is him say he heard everything that he needed to teach him English. Syntax, simile, metaphor, connectivity, the whole thing. And he went into the class and started to write the song on what I remember for the song. And the boys and helped him full up things. And from that, every class full because he was talking to them from a cultural place and saying to them, so awesome. You can imagine if our English teachers was helping us to identify writers. Because writers are our biggest weakness in our music business. Okay, people talk, we have musicians, Edna Manley turning out musicians like, people making with him. What it is that the U2 saying something that him really don't, in other words, to cause too bad than thing is easy. To bring the same kind of emotional things to bear with metaphors and suggestion and whatever, affection, text skill is an art form. So in other words, we have to be investing in this kind of thing. So I'd love to see the U-Techs and these other people start to look at how we are going to solve the thing. If the music is such an important thing and everybody buy into it, let us do something to kind of fix the music. I mean, what coming out. There's we can, like I said, we can't censor it, but the people who decide to do the bad thing, once the music starts to sell, people will start to realize what's selling and them going to do. So in other words, what happened now is that you have 2 versions or 3 versions of every song. Because when I go to a place and I hear a song, I say, but I don't know that. That is the hardcore version. So for every song that is being made now, well, not every song, but for every song that you hear on the radio, when you hear the dub plate sometimes, you cringe because that is what the dance has. I don't know. We have to learn to support the music that we like. Because if we're not buying the good music, and there are some people buying the so-called bad music, you can't blame it if the people making the good music come out of the business.
But isn't it the masses that buying that music?
I don't know about that buying it, but support. Look how we support Tessan when she was
they supported dancehall
competition and his support. And when Tessan come out, who do Tessan? I mean, there's no question of our vocal ability. You know what I mean? So
that is so true.
So there's an entertainment business and there's a music business. And I think something that we need to wrap our head around. We are entertained a lot of times by people who, by what you call now, people with don't have the classic thing that we want, but them engaging, them brave, that I'm willing to do the things. It's like when you're watching the lead up to like the Rising Star thing, and you see them show the auditions. And sometimes the funniest part is the man that come and make an ass himself because it's entertainment. Right. So there's an entertainment industry which allow a lot more, with a lot. Once you're entertaining and you have that ability to grab an audience, either by what you're prepared to say or what you're prepared to do. There's a spot for you. There's a role for you. If you're well managed and if you're smart enough. I mean, and you brand yourself a certain way from long time. When Shabba come out and say, me dirty stinking Shabba, you can imagine? Really? Me man, dirty stinking, and you refer to yourself so? But he must brand himself. And he must also say, listen, There's nothing that you can say about me to hurt me because me I said it already.
Right.
Because that is how him felt. Him felt so. And when him start in the morning, him say, hey, it's alright, that's the same one. Me don't speak in Shabbat. The same one that he used to ignore. And me same one.
Okay. So Dennis,
Yeah.
you finish? You finish, Mikey?
Yeah, man, we're good.
Okay.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having me.
Yeah, listen. The situation, what we love to do in Jamaica is to seek solution from a binary position. It is either or. So we always have oppositional process going on. And we want to find somebody for blame for everything. And as a song that I love to quote says, between black and white, there's 1,000 shades of gray. And that's where most of what we are doing lie. And so if we understand the music for what it is and understand I use a big word, the milieu that creates
What
it,
that means.
the environment. Yeah.
These
Yeah.
these PhDs, you see.
You understand me?
The environment that creates it, and the different processes that are involved. We need, as Mikey said, to have mentorship. But so the worst enemy of the music industry is this industry itself. There's a crab in the barrel mentality. There is a celebrity mentality, and there is a selfishness that is among the people in the industry. I used to give my advice for free for years when I was in the 90s when everything was going on. I used to be in studio telling people about copyright. I used to be in studio telling them about split sheet. I used to encourage people who used to just have ability to produce and produce for everybody else but themselves. And I used to tell them, go buy a tape and go produce. Half of them don't listen to Jack what you say because they see themselves in a particular way. Mikey and I have spoken at 1 million seminars and workshops over the last 25 to 30 years. I've never seen any of the big artists that needed it. The same artists them now who are on YouTube talking about how everybody else but themselves mash up them career and blaming everybody but themselves. And so there is a lot of things that we have to be doing. Like at the University of the West Indies, there are about 3 different programs. We have a creative and cultural industries degree. We have an entertainment and cultural enterprise degree. We have a music performance degree where people are now learning how to play instrument, how to write, how to record, how to appreciate music, led by Dr. Ray Hitchens, who is a musician and producer himself.
Is there a heavy uptake on that?
Yeah, man.
Good.
See? But we need more people for coming in because the thing is now, you're the problem. You're the problem now. The majority of the people are young and their parents are financing their degree. When them go to them parents and say, hey, pops, mommy, or mommy and pops, I want to do a degree in creative and cultural enterprise industry, creative industries. Them ask them what them going to do with that. Or if them say to them, say, I want to do performance studies, music performance studies. The parents them say, no, we're not spend the money for that. You better go to lawyer, or you better go do engineering, or you don't want to doctor. And so the kind of natural ability that would attract these students, a lot of them parents won't support them because of the colonial mentality that we have, that music is worthless people business and the creativity and creative endeavors are a waste of time. So we would want more people to come in and more people would want to come to do these programs. But because they are young and they're not financing themselves, there's a problem with students. She has graduated now. But at one point, one of my students was in a dilemma because she came into the ESM program, love it, and said, all right, this is what I'm doing, sir. And our parents them said, no, man, law degree. Say, but me don't want the law.
But maybe because there is no expose as to what you can do with the
no, it's not that.
Where the music industry is going.
Sandra, it is the traditional notion of how we view the society. Is the inculcation, it really, and even if you outline and tell the people them what it is, the notion. Listen, if me and you get a law degree, we get a write up in the paper tomorrow. Because we're back, we're still at that notion that law is the greatest thing that anybody can do, or medicine is the greatest thing, because it's a colonial mentality. You see every day. People are getting masters, people are getting PhD, no write-up. Make somebody get one law degree. Make somebody get their medicine degree. Write up in all of the newspapers. So the system perpetuate these colonial stereotypes until this day. So can you imagine the people them? Nobody's not, but
Dennis is not music alone, because when I do my I say lectures, because I'm not a professor. But when I do my motivational talks, for those who don't know, I'm a barber by profession, right? Yes, I own my own business and my title is CEO of Totally Male. But really and truly, I'm a barber, right?
Yeah.
Or should I say I'm a beauty therapist, because I do all the other
the massage and the facial.
People still will look at you as if you, well, first of all, the thinking is people who do manicure, pedicure, massage, facial, all these skill level is people who drop out of school. Not looking at it's a multi-trillion-dollar business, not only in doing the services, but in selling products worldwide, millions of dollars.
And it's a profession based on science.
But if you say I'm a barber, or if you say I'm an esthetician, or people look down at you because you must have dropped out of school. It's because you couldn't do nothing else.
Yeah.
So I understand.
The
the
same
truth
mentality.
is, you have to level up the thing.
Yeah.
Because when people are coming to my spa and say, wait, no man, this place nice. But I take it to a level where it's an international standard.
Yeah.
So I think that is what the musicians or the producers or the music managers have to do to push. Because I remember when I started back in '94, people said, no, sir, man, not do them something there. Man, not do them something there. We open them place and say, you're going to fail. And I'm saying, no, I'm not going to fail, because I know my standard and what I'm going to put into it. So I'm thinking that is the same drive, energy. People like you and Mikey who love the music, wanna have to put that standard to it. Where
it's there now, Sandra, because remember, don't say music.
No,
because,
sell it.
No,
hold on. A lot of good music being made,
that being said, and listen,
a lot of great music still being made, and
a lot of exciting things are happening. When you limit it to music, I'd love to broaden it to entertainment or and creativity, because you have a lot of people, young guys and girls, doing coding, building apps, building games. You have designers. You have people in the culinary arts, food. You have dancers. You have video directors. You have animators, and sometimes when we're limited to the music industry, because everybody may call us, work within the music industry, because even if you're an artist, you have to do an album launch. So you're
Right.
going to need an animator for do something. You have to do a graphic designer. You're going to need an event planner.
With
You're
passion.
going to need food. You're going to need a stylist. So we have to look at it now as the creative industries or
Creative
entertainment industry. And so,
Absolutely.
but some exciting things are going on as we speak, because as I say, the UTech wisely are now starting some programs where they are going to do lighting, they are going to get into sound engineering and all of them stuff there. Then you have different universities that are trying to build their arts management program.
Department.
University, we have an extensive program which we now link with Carmack. So a lot of my students are Carmack students. A lot of my students are now people in doing the tourism management degree. So everybody trying to get not limit themselves to one area. The more people are getting more a comprehensive, holistic kind of education now. And a lot of the people in the industry now are my students. A lot of the people in the industry now are Mickie Bennett students. A lot of the people them in the industry are Paul Henton students, Sly Dunbar students. You see? So it's happening. And so when sometimes we look at only the negativity part of it, listen, we could have.
The business side is being pushed in the forefront.
No, that's a dilemma, and that's where a person like myself come in with my company to try to level, give them the capacity to build and grow a business, because a lot of the producers that you hear I talk about, them don't have a business plan, them don't have no accounting. Some of them don't even register the damn company that them call them record company. And so they don't and none of them understand intellectual property. Them don't know what is a trademark. Them don't know nothing. And then when they get into problem, then blame everybody else.
I think if we start talking in terms of dollars, if they understand that what they're earning now is peanuts, because as I said, as we said before earlier, because they're coming from zero.
Yeah.
If they make $10, they're rich.
Yeah.
I think if we start pushing the numbers.
Yeah.
And what the material that they're putting out, and the connections that they're making. The
unfortunate thing is that the system and the society does not facilitate that kind of consciousness.
Wow.
The worst. Listen, if anyone of them can get a bank account now. There's a financial exclusion.
I think the government is changing that. Well, the banking system.
But the banking system is not. The banking system is trying.
Everybody been going online.
Yeah, the banking system is trying, but guess what now? Remember, son, most of the banking system have to be dictated by Washington, and all of these what you call them, money laundering legislation that they impose on us. True, I agree with
you there. I agree with you there, and I'm going to tell you why. Somebody that I mentor wanted a bank account. No, she's from I don't like to use the word ghetto. What do you call it now? Inner city. She don't go to church, so she didn't know a pastor. She don't know a JP. So the only recommendation she had was me, and she did it too. And so these are some of the not to say that they really can have to do away with that, because you have the whole scammers and the whole all of that. So you have to have some kind of framework in place. But some of those things are hindrances.
Yeah, man.
And so that people need to explain to persons looking for a job, looking to open a bank account, that you need to socialize, you need to expand yourself.
And then the thing is too, even for the guys and girls who are entering the music industry at a young age and going to a school system, the school system not teaching them things there. Half of the things listen, it is the most difficult task for us as university lecturers to kind of transition students from the high school mentality to tertiary education, because the high school is still rote, SWAT and pass exam. You understand? And they are not teaching them the life skills. Listen, I'll give you one personal. A couple years ago, my second to last son was on campus, and his school fee was to be paid. And he was on campus, and I was going to teach a class. So I said, listen, all right, hear what? When I come up, I'll just give you the check, and you can go pay the school fee. I was in a rush. He saw me in the parking lot, and I took out the check and signed the check and said, fill it in and go and go pay a school fee. And my son at the time was about 21, 22, if so much. And look at me and tell me, say, him not know if fill out a check.
Well, I have that at work. I see that at work, so
I was shocked.
I'm not shocked, no. But
I said probably it's a feeling on my part. But I'm saying, you see the skills that we used to get in high school and even primary school, most of that gone through. Listen, them teach history in a Jamaica again, schools again. You know? How the hell a post-colonial society like ours, we come from slavery and colonialism and a whole heap of subjugation, and they are not teaching history, and a ton of people them. That's what. Can you imagine why people are doing what they do? Because the system is failing the youth them.
Yeah. Boy, Dennis, my way over time, but it's just so much to discuss. Boy, I'm telling you, really.
Dennis wants him own program. I don't listen to him talk all night. So Dennis wants him own program. I don't listen to him talk all night.
We talk about it all night because there's so many different components that lead to it, and then dancehall and music in general is such a big part of our culture.
Yeah.
And so, apart from trying to protect it, build it out to what it can be, fix it, monetize it, because that's a big thing too, monetizing it, because us being good and the music, people loving our music, don't make sense unless you can monetize it and make it change people's lives, change the country, and just overall just improve us as Jamaicans. So, gentlemen, I thank you so much. We've gone way over. I think it's the longest program I've probably had. But I'm telling you, I really appreciate the exchange, appreciate the knowledge, because, you gave me a whole history lesson, a whole lesson of, the whole setup of Jamaica and the system. And why we are where we are. And so as a people, we have to take a decision, we have to make a decision as to where we really want to go.
Yeah.
As a people.
Yeah.
Where we want to see our music, and where we want to see ourselves, where we want to see our country, the kind of unity that we want to have. And we have the ability to do so. And so, in wrapping up, I just want to say thanks for those who have joined. Sherry, Michael, quite a few other people joined. To those persons out there who are in the music industry, I just want to say, you have a responsibility. You have a great responsibility. Whether you want it or not, because I've been hearing a lot of conversations that persons don't feel that they should be held accountable because they didn't put themselves out there as a role model. They didn't choose to be a role model to anybody. But whether you chose it or not, as like parents, you know, we are responsible for the ones coming up. We're the ones who are teaching them what to do. So whether or not you have to choose what you put out there, the content, the lyrics, you know. So I just want to say thank you once again. Thank you, Dr. Howard. Thank you, Mickie Bennett. Thank you, folks, for joining. See you next week, same place, same time, with another interesting conversation. This one went way over for those of you who stayed with us. We are greatly appreciative. But it really is a conversation. As Cherie said, this is a conversation that really needs to be had and really needs to continue. And so we need to have a meeting with Babsy to say, you know, Babsy, come on now, where we go from here, you know, and to really move as one unit. You know, we need to move as one unit. So good night, folks. Have a good week. Thanks again for joining. Thanks, Mickie. Thanks, Doc.
All right, cool.
All right, take care. Hello, Mickie.
All the best.
All right.